Hello, I'm Inderen from Copenhagen Flames. Today, going to talk about how to become pro in Hearthstone. Going to speak about both how to improve as a player, but also how to improve popularity-wise. I have a guest with me, BoarControl. He has recently joined F2K, and he currently averages some 100 viewers on his stream, but he's on a really upgoing trajectory. So he's an excellent guest for this topic. Also, I'll chime in with some inputs. I have played this game professionally and streamed in the past, even though I do behind the scenes stuff now. So without further ado, I bring you BoarControl.
My typical day. So I wake up about like 10 a.m. around there, have breakfast, watch someone stream. Normally RDU's on, or there's Tyler on, or someone like that. I watch them for a bit, and then I walk the dog, come back, and then sort some stuff out, emails. There's normally something I need to do, contact someone about something, and then start the stream at about 2 or 3 p.m. and then stream for about the 7 to 10 hours normally, depending on how the stream's going, how I feel, and then if there's any competition. Sometimes there's tournaments I need to play in, and then sometimes there's ladder finishes. The streams can vary in length. Yeah, and then after that, review some of the stream stuff, look at stream stats, and then maybe watch some TV or something and go to bed, and just that's the average day basically.
Yeah, so how many hours do you stream, like on average nowadays?
On average, I try and do it's around 8 to 9 hours a day, I think, is my average stream. But it is variable. I've done some really long streams recently because of Open Cups for the HCT tour stops, because they start really early at like 9 a.m. my time. So they take a long time. But yeah, I try and do 9 to 10 hours to try and just make a large area for my viewers to come watch if they're from various time zones. So to make it in Hearthstone, you need to be consistently high on the ladder. Obviously, there's various ways you can break into the Hearthstone scene. There's through tournaments and there's through streaming as well. So if you stream and you regularly get rank 1 legends and you get high finishes on ladder at the end of the season, much like how Tyler did, he broke through on that streaming side. And then there's other ways to do it where you break through by winning tournaments. Look at people like Orange, who broke through by winning various tournaments. There are some players who are better in tournaments, some players who are better on ladder. But as long as you're consistently good at the game in one aspect, so ladder or tournaments, you will break through. You just have to be, of course, you have to be very, very good, because only the very top % of people will break through. So I've been getting regular rank 1 legends every month, and that's very good for viewership and exposure. And I think you need to be hitting rank 1 a lot of times if you're streaming, if you want to make it. So to become a pro, you've got top 20. You need to just be consistently high. We've got competitive season is on for the next 11 months. If you're finishing high on ladder and you qualify for prelims and you can do well at prelims, you just need your breakout. Whether if you can't stream because you've got problems with PC or you're working, then it's just going to have to be playing when you can, getting to high legend finishes and qualifying for these prelims. The HCT format is the best way to break out. If you do well in a HCT event, then that will set you up for everything. You look at people like Dr. Jikaninki, I had never heard of him. He turns up to a prelims, wins it, and now everyone's heard of him. So it's really, I say it's easy or simple, but of course qualifying is very, very difficult from your region. But if you can do that, that's the best way to break out if you're not so known.
I also want to mention practice groups. That's how I improved a lot as a player. I met Crane for free on the Danish Hearthstone Facebook forum, and we played over Skype almost every day for a while. And we both improved a lot over that period of time. Also, active stream watching. By that, I mean preferably pick a streamer that you know is a very good player, and then don't watch it live, but watch your VOD, and then before each play, or at least before each complicated play, you just pause, and then you think about what do you want to do here, and then you play, and then see if the streamer does the same, and if it doesn't, then you have to figure out why there's discrepancy. Okay, so if you don't look at the gameplay-wise, skill-wise part of Hearthstone, what other stuff do you have to do other than being good at the game to succeed in Hearthstone?
I didn't mention this. So other than being good at the game, you need to we see lots of streamers like, I'm not going to say these people aren't good at the game, because they are. They're just maybe not at the top level competitive wise. So we see people like Disguised Toast, and then there's Savits and Trump and stuff, and they stream more meme decks, right?
Yeah.
Is what they're called. So those sort of streamers, if you're a good personality and you're just funny and entertaining to watch, people are going to watch. That's another reason to watch. There's some people who like competitive Hearthstone and they tune into Twitch for that, but there's probably a larger market of people who want to be entertained by various funny shenanigans that happen in the game. And yeah, if you can be amusing whilst playing Hearthstone and still be at a high level, you're still going to be probably legend rank quite high, then you'll attract a large viewer base. It's just difficult to break into that aspect. Most people who are in that sort of a field are like Savits and Amaz, and they were once very good players, so they built up their viewer base like that, and then they converted to being a variety streamer or meme streamer to some extent. And I really think it's difficult to break out to start with, the meme streamer. But if you can build up your viewer base by getting high legend, even looking at Forsen, he was regularly rank 1 legend with Milk Rogue, then he switched up and started to care less about the gameplay, more about entertaining, which was very good for his viewership and his market.
Yeah, I also think it was easier back then to do it. Like these guys who were in the first Hearthstone show, I don't know, did you watch it? I don't even remember what it's called now, but Forsen, Trump, Jackie, and Swan win it. Some Fight Night something.
They were called Team Doge House or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Team Mana Grind and such. Like, a lot of those are famous now, so yeah. But I agree, today it's probably way harder to take it that road. Like Disguised Toast, he had a huge YouTube channel and he was a big content creator.
That's another way to do it. Start with YouTube.
I watched his first streams and he was like getting a massive amount of viewers in the beginning, and you just knew from the first week that he's gonna get big. So yeah. Yeah.
With this guy's Toast, he had the whole persona where he always wore the Toast mask on stream. If you can make a whole sort of character around yourself, which people are into, and there's a sort of like disguise, and people are like, who really is this guy? I want to watch to find out, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's
it
just
helps
about
with building up a
finding
personality.
Yeah. Okay, so regarding streaming, like as you said, you stream a lot. So what would you say are some pitfalls about streaming?
When you start streaming, you're not going to get many viewers. You have to accept this. You have to look at trajectories. There's lots of websites where you can see stats of other streamers. You'll notice that they also didn't start with many viewers. People like Tyler, Asmodai, 4 years ago, he didn't have many viewers at all. It builds up over time. You've got to try and keep your current viewer base, the people who are there, keep them coming back, and then you want to try and attract new viewers. There's various forms of advertising stuff. You don't want to just be streaming on Twitch alone and doing nothing else. You need to be telling other people you've got a channel. So if you have Twitter, tweeting about streams, tweeting about stuff, if you already have a decent following, that'll attract some viewers. But there's other ways, like you want to publish deck lists on websites like Hearthstone and Hearthstone Top Decks and various Hearthstone websites, maybe on Reddit as well. And then that way you can get lots of new clicks. You just put your stream, like I stream this deck every day, come watch me play it. I got rank X Legend with it. And then you'll get lots of clicks on those websites, and that will attract you new viewers. You don't want to just be stuck getting the same viewers every time. You want to find ways to attract different viewership.
So pitfalls in streaming is my specialty. I had a good stream going with about 70 subscribers at some point, but then I started to get depressed and affected my stream quality, and yeah, it was just a downward going spiral, which led me to stop streaming in the end. Some people are just not cut out for streaming. It can be really, really taxing, like sitting alone, especially if there's no chat. It can be really rough for your mental health. So yeah, I mean, that's not like a solution for everyone. Like some people are just not cut out for streaming. But it is hard to make it in Hearthstone without streaming, but it's definitely possible. So it shouldn't be like you're giving up becoming a pro just because you don't like streaming. I saw you make a lot of successful guides on Hearthstone. Like your rogue guides, I think, was one of the most successful. I think you made 2. Right.
Yeah. I made one a while ago with Tempo Warrior as well. Yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. So how much do you think? How important do you think those were for your success? Those guys.
Yes. So my guides on Hearthstone, my Tempo Warrior one got over 300,000 viewers, and I just know for a fact my Twitter following doubled from like 1,000 to 2,000 overnight, which is already like it. And then Tempo Rogue, 100,000 viewers. If you're getting 1% of these people coming to your stream, that's already a huge increase in your viewership. I know there's lots of people who come to my stream who say, "Can you play Rogue, please? We're here for Rogue," because they come from the guide, and I might be playing a different deck, and I might just switch. Like sometimes I've been playing lots of a deck like Rogue, even though I might not think it's the best, just because I know people are coming to watch that after seeing the guide, for instance. I think it's very, very important to publish guides on websites, because that will get you new viewership. And if you're looking to grow your channel, that's exactly what you need.
Yeah. So right now you're doing pretty well. Like your stream is growing. You average several hundred of viewers. So everything is good. You just signed a new team, Fate to Karma. How important do you think it is, like when you get to a stage where you are now, to sign like a big team like Fate to Karma? How much do you think it's going to help you?
So joining a team like Fate to Karma is important for many reasons. One reason would be that you get to be part of a collective group of other streamers. So if you have a problem with your stream, you can ask them for help. Everyone's been through similar problems to you, so they'll all be able to help you out. There's the hosting aspect of Twitch, where once you end your stream, you can transfer your viewers to another person. So if you're part of a team, a network of streamers, people will be live all the time. So you can just host around the clock and all the viewers get moved around. And that way you can increase your viewership as well. It's also important for the team for sponsorship stuff. If there's a sponsor coming to Fate to Karma, then the whole team, all the players will get part of that sponsorship. And it's more of a collective thing rather than individual. So you share all the rewards from streaming rather than just having it individually, which is a lot better for you. You want to be doing things collectively. And then also there's just a team salary, team funding to events, which is very useful if you're trying to be full-time, because you need to get the income to live full-time, basically, right? So a year from now, I have my objectives this year. I'm not quite sure how realistic they are. Obviously, I want to try and finish as high on ladder as I can each season. At first, you want to get top 25 each season. That's like the highest goal. But looking at previous seasons, no one's ever finished top 25 11 months in a row. So I wouldn't say that's a realistic goal, but it's the goal that I'm trying to get. That will set me on the way to last call for HCT points. It's a tough balance between streaming and grinding, because I have to sacrifice one to make the other better, is always the case. If you look at the previous grinders, people like Sinslol, who finished top of last call last season, he barely streamed at all, and that helps a lot if you want to grind. There's less distractions while streaming, and it's just easier to play well off stream. I would argue.
But it is possible. Someone like Soleil, he streams all the time and he does well.
It is possible. Zalay often doesn't stream his at the end of the season though.
That's true.
Which is the thing. He does stream a lot. Yes, Zalay is the main guy who is always finishes high, because he was second in last call for America and streams a lot. Yeah, it is possible, but I just basically want to see my stream continue growing. I don't know it's very difficult to say what the peak is. Some people's peak might be around 1,000 viewers. Some people's peak is way bigger than that. Some people's peak is like 500 viewers. It depends on where you can get your viewers from and how you do things. I always look back on like the previous month and think, what could I have done better? Where did these viewers come from? How did things change? And then it's basically like a month by month thing on the analysis. So looking a year ahead, I just want everything to grow and then do well in various tournaments. There's loads of tour stops. I'd like to qualify for at least one, and then do well in at least one of the playoffs, get a top 8 or a top 4. There's 3 HCT playoffs for Europe, and I'll hope to qualify for all of them. Yeah, one success would be great.
So if you look at the big streamers right now, like we spoke about before, they're typical streamers that had made a name for themselves somehow, either by some other content creation or by getting good results. But if you look at like Savage, the Sky's Toast, Forsen and those guys, Thais also, they don't seem to be playing like top tier decks. are you afraid that it's not possible to peak if you don't follow that route? Because you're not like them. You always try hard on stream. That's your demography, right? So are you afraid?
Yeah, I always
you're
try
not,
hard.
Are you afraid you cannot like get to that level, even though you do the best possible?
Yes. So yeah, regarding that, if you look at streamers who also only try hard, it's like Tyler Root, who's grown a lot. Obviously, he's not on the level of Savitz and stuff. And then there's, looking back to a previous player, Life Coach. He streamed on delay, which decreases viewership a lot, and he only tryharded. But because of how he did it and his personality, he still managed to get a very large viewership, one of the largest on Twitch. There was sort of the persona about him. People tuned in just because he was Life Coach. He was the guy who was just the best in a lot of people's opinion. So I think there's definitely a market for being the best guy streaming as well. And then there's someone like Asmodai who just streamed every day for an entire year. And he might not have had tournament results in the past, but he was always high on ladder playing. He was tryharding most of the time. Of course, he sometimes plays various other decks, but he was tryharding a lot to get those rank ones every month, pretty much. So there is some market for it, but of course, Disguised Toast and Savitz are the biggest streamers on Twitch for a reason, for the entertainment value.
I would say Asmodai. I know him a lot also, and he's like, yes, he gets really good results, but also think his success can be reasoned because because of his personality, like his community is really friendly and stuff. Not like, I'm not saying you're not those things, but yeah, I think his success is not only because of his results. I think it's like a combination of different factors, but also someone like Show. Of course, he's not only famous because of his results, but he is mainly a tryharder, right? And he gets like really, like, he's starting to get like multiple thousand viewers now consistently, closing in on 10,000 sometimes.
Yeah, so there's also the aspect of, Show's one of the people who started streaming such a long time ago. He came into Hearthstone with a pre-built viewer base. So if you can do that and you have a pre-built viewer base from a different game, that's very, very useful when you're switching game, because you're already quite high up on the Twitch page. One thing I've noticed from my stats is, once my viewership increased into the hundreds, I'm now on like the first page you see if you open the Hearthstone directory on Twitch, which means my numbers of people who come to my channel from the directory page has doubled or pretty much tripled recently, just because they'll see my name without having to scroll down forever, which I think is another large difference. Once you start making it, it's very a snowball effect in terms of the numbers.
Exactly. Yeah.
For people who want to make it in Hearthstone, aspiring to it, would be, don't half-ass it. You've got to be all in. You can't just sort of try a little bit. You're not going to make anything out of it, because there's always going to be someone who's trying harder than you. And more people, there's people playing this game for 14 hours a day, every day for a week in the time before the season ends. If you're not willing to compete and put in the amount of time that other people are putting in as well, you're not going to make it. If generally, Hearthstone's a bit different to other games because you can put in less time, you can put in time better than other people. But in general, if you want to be as good and competing at the top level, you need to be putting in similar hours to them. Of course, if you have a job or you're at university, that gets more difficult, and you can only put in the time that you have. But to compete with people at the same level as them, you really need to be putting in the same number of hours, unfortunately. And be that on the stream or in playing, that's how I think you make it. And that's what I'm trying to do as well.
All right, that's it. Thanks so much for participating.